Alright guys, welcome back. We're gonna do some job seeking today. We're gonna do some svelte, we're gonna clean our desktop, we're gonna do React, um, and clean, yeah, I think that's it, pretty much it. It's pretty consistent. If you don't know what we're doing, I'm gonna show you what we're doing. Uh, capture framer website. Capture, capture the frame of the website. So basically we're gonna make this website in SaltKit. So if you're interested in that, yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And yeah, now you know. We're gonna stay online for maybe like 1.5 hour, not sure. So we're gonna try to make it quick, not hang around too much, and just doing what we're supposed to do, right? So let's reset this one. All right, resetting this one. Let's do 5 minutes. I'm not expecting too much of the job seeking, to be honest. So just gonna see what's out there. Maybe there's something out there, maybe there's nothing out there. We seen this one yesterday, but they're asking weird stuff that I don't have. Um, this is a vacancy. It's fake. Doesn't seem there's new stuff going on. Hmm, what company? Yeah, it doesn't seem like too much. Okay, let's go check the keywords. Let's do one date. Membership intern, senior developer, jobber, spring. I don't know what. Full stack, front end. I don't know. Why do you need 30% BA Java Spring? How are you doing, Sapam? Just checking for 5 minutes if there's any job on a Friday. Usually there's none, so I try to be a little bit fast, seeing what's going on here, and then doesn't seem like nothing. This is old stuff already. So let's see WordPress. Alright, let's do on date. No time to waste. Um, how are you doing, bro? Let's see. Full stack. Oh, okay. Uh, it's too much to ask. Hey, Coconut Boy, what's up? Welcome back, bro. Oh, you were studying? Good. How's physics going? Did you apply some new methods? It's important, you know. Don't stick with the same stuff, right? If the same stuff didn't work, you get a bad score. You need to change your methods, right? We're going for success, right? The same. I'm talk when I say this, I'll also talk about myself. Like don't need to stick to old methods. If they don't work, you get rid of them, you know, and then yeah. Okay, let's see front-end developer dates. Lead developer. This is not close, but it could have been. C sharp. Cool. Data engineer front end. Laravel developer. How are you, bro? We're relaxing, right? We are just checking out. Doesn't seem there's too much jobs. We have 1 minute left. Let's do another keyword. Let's do because we applied to 7 jobs yesterday. Yesterday was a very good day, so I was not expecting. I'm not expecting. It's weird. It's like they push them out at the same time in my country. I'm not sure why that is. So, software engineer, RDP, Uber. What do you want? Pretty much a lot. React Native front-end developer, senior meteor. Um, yeah, bought some sample paper book. Yeah, good, good. Look at this cap. You will recommend granted and pepper and particular characters can always create content for Oh, it's like an AI. Okay, it's a lot, but this is a haystack people, which is an agency, so I don't apply to agencies. I don't want to get into that mess. So okay, I think that's pretty much it. Let's go to page. That's it. There's not a lot today. All right, so that's the weekend. Let's continue on with the next part. I'm gonna clean my um, desktop a little. But no, let's do it a little bit later. Let's do something else. Yeah, let's set up the Anki stuff. Um, where did I put it though? Anki React. I think I call it React maybe. Okay, I didn't put it here. Give me 1 second. I need to check where it is. So, okay, let's go to C users, work desktop. Let me see. I pretty much think it was on desktop though. Ah, yeah, I see it. I see it. Okay, it's here. Great. So we need to find a way to install Anki here. Um, so why am I doing that? Because we're gonna do some memorization for patterns, and then after that we might do a React practice a little bit. But I think I will go straight to SvelteKit. So if you don't know what SvelteKit is, just like Next.js, you probably have heard of it before. A full stack framework or like Laravel. Laravel is a bit different, but it's basically the same thing. We're going to do Svelte. Svelte is a JavaScript framework, but SvelteKit is on top. So if you missed like a couple days of stream, I will do a quick summary for it soon. But first, let's do the Anki stuff. Um, do you have like an Anki online something? Is there like an Anki online stuff? AnkiPro.net. Using Anki in browser. Uh, oh, okay. Let's see. Using companion of Anki, configure the line where you don't have access to your home computer can be used. Oh, okay. It's like logging in into. Okay, that's what I don't want, to be honest. Mm, maybe there's something like that. Anki Hub, digital Anki flashcards, Anki app, um, Anki online flashcards. I want something that I can just drag the Anki in where there's no issue. So it doesn't seem that something like this exists. That's actually maybe an idea to do, right? Online flashcard maker. What is this? Bro, you're capping. Never mind. Uh, Unfortunately. Let's just do it this way. Bought a sample paper book. You mean like with questions and answers, with difficult questions and such? Or did you make like a planning how you're gonna study and when you're gonna study and what subjects and whatnot? Okay. I need to. No, I don't need to do the installing here. Give me a second. We're gonna do it on the. Okay. Okay. All right. So that is installing. Got my water. You can also download other people's flashcards in Anki. Yeah, yeah. I usually make my own, but I don't make that complicated. It's like just screenshot and paste. Like some people like make really complicated stuff, but for me, it's just getting the job done. Okay, that does not work. That one does. United States. I wish to display Anki inflation English. Yes. Alright, so I'm gonna import um, my Anki file. Awesome. Import. Okay. Awesome. Now what? Can I go away from here or no? Okay. 14 to go. Let's check the settings for a second. Options. New cards a day. Now let's do 3 cards a day to be honest. Okay. And then alright. Let's see. Let's also do like an interface. Give me a second. I think I'm gonna install JS, run JS. So if you don't know what that is, um, run JS. It's an app. Book got 15 sample questions, papers with solution. Is it any good? Like, is it reputable or um, do you use Anki Coconut Boy? Have you used it recently? It's stuck? Oh, I was like, what's going on? Give me a second, I'm gonna install it. By the way, I have a clock sound. You guys have not said anything about it. Obviously, you guys also want to hear some music, but I want to just try something new, right? Um, it's not gonna probably not gonna be like a long-term thing, but I just want to relax a little bit. So, okay. So basically, in Run.js, you can use it for yeah, pretty much anything, right? But what we're gonna do is a code along here, and this is one of the ways you can do a tap, right? But I'm not sure if it can handle React though. Mm, maybe it can not even handle React, so I need to think about it. But it can like um, it can do something like this, right? Const. I see it has autocomplete on. I want to zoom in. Can I zoom in a little bit? Awesome. Mm, const A is like 1, 1, 2, 3, right? And then you can say, why is this an error? What's going on? Oh, it's never read. Okay. And then you can say a.map, right? And then you can say item, and then obviously you can say item times 2, and then you get double the amount, right? or you can say like mat skirt, I think. Let me see. Skirt. Let me see how it's mat skirt js. Let me see how you type it. Okay, like this. Okay, mat skirt item, and then you get like this the skirt and like power. Power does not exist. Pow maybe. None, not a number. Okay. Mat.pow is equivalent to the operator. Uh, oh, because we need to, yeah, okay, obviously. It needs two arguments, so you can do the power of 2 or like the power of 5. So it's pretty useful for learning, but in this case, I don't think it's useful for learning. This um, because this is web development. So let's open a um, let's open it up. Okay, awesome. You guys don't say anything. I had the wrong screen. Let me see. React playground. React playground. Okay. But anyways, you can do anything with this program. It's pretty useful. Um, you can say this is the map power, but you can also do a squared, which takes in one argument. And they can actually see the result immediately. It's very useful. No console log, not everything, no running. It runs instantly, so it has like a live compiler that checks. I'm not sure what this is. Explain output. Oh, that's pretty good. Um, yeah, so you can do this stuff. And you can say let's do it by 2, right? Items by 2. Just map function. But you get immediately the answer, so you get immediate feedback. That's pretty good for memorization. So that's why I'm doing that. And let's do some React here. So our problem is this. We need to understand how a tap switch work, right? Um, so yeah, let's make a tap switch. So first, what are the types of switches that we're gonna have? Well, first then we need to open a how would you say that? We need to open a array of objects, so we can say um, well, what are we going to do? Um, Q and A, Q and A. This is not formal React, but and then we can open an array of objects, right? Uh, mm, let me think. So we're gonna make some pairs then. So we're gonna say question, and the question is gonna be hello question one, and we're gonna also do an answer, and we're gonna say hello answer one. So we're gonna code everything switch. Um, and then this is an array of objects to be honest, but I think I need to open up another one. Sure if this is allowed though. Think I need something in between unexpected token. Array of objects. array of objects. Give me a second. JSON placeholder. Okay. Let's go into a post. Okay, I see. So no nested. We don't do nesting. We just do in order. Okay, fine by me. Let's do something like that. And like this one. Let's do the same for the other ones, right? So I'm not sure if a multi-cursor works. It does. So good. And then we can say answer 2. And then we can do the same here. Let's say 3. I think that's how you do it. Mm, maybe an index. I don't think it's needed. We're gonna map over it. So no, we don't need a. Do we need an index? No, because uh, tab. How do you call it? Not JavaScript. React automatically does this. So, alright, let's open up a fragment. So if you don't know what a fragment is, it's basically an empty tag, which is special to React. Okay. Let me see. Oh, you use it sometimes? Yeah. Yeah, I also use it sometimes, but yeah, it's pretty, could be pretty useful. Anyways, we're gonna use this one. I actually want to import it, but I'm not sure if we can create files. Maybe. Let's see. New file. And we're gonna call it then constant js. And then we can const export. Oh, sorry. Export const. Awesome. And in the app we can then import. I think you do it like this. Q&A from something like this. It's never read. Awesome. So we have that done. Let's make a use state. So use state because we're gonna grab some data. All right. And yeah, let's do it. So first we're gonna have an active tab. So active tab and set active set. Should I do capital letters? Yeah, let's just do it. Set active. Let's actually just do active set active. Something like that. Is use state and we're starting with a 0, like null. So use state null. So we don't have anything. Well, what is going on? Const use state. I don't think I did anything wrong, to be honest. What did it say? Type error cannot read properties of null. That should not be an issue, to be honest. But sure. Use state. Oh, okay. It's just empty. Okay. It's just giving feedback. Okay, no worries. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is make a switch. Um, Let me think about it for a second. Like I know how to make a switch, but I'm thinking about some other stuff. Let's make a function. We're gonna say render content. Render content. I'm gonna explain soon. Give me a second, guys. And then we're gonna make a switch. It does not have an automatically switch. I see. That's fine. Switch active, obviously. And then we're gonna make some cases. Now, if you're gonna have some cases, um, then let's give some IDs then. ID is home, and ID is profile, and ID ID is settings. Okay, so and then we can use these ones because we have imported it from the Q&A. So I think we can say case how would we do? We're gonna say we have not used destructuring though. Give me a second. What we can do is we're gonna say home settings, and we're gonna also no, we're not gonna destructure. Let's do just home settings and profile, and then we're gonna say if the case is home, we will return Q&A. Q&A dot answer. I can do this. Home is not defined. It is. Maybe I can do this. Can I get away with that? Let me see. Is that a problem? Expected a default case. Yeah, I don't have a default case yet, but now that we are here, let's do the default case. Default is return null. Okay. Now let's do the other ones as well. So instead of home, we yeah, instead of home, we want to do profile. I think this is totally fine. And oh, and settings. Let's go. So we have three unique cases, and case Q&A settings. So if the ID is home, then return the answer of that. Let me see what the answer is. Any. Okay. So we actually do. No, we don't need to define because it's not TypeScript. So okay, we have that done. Then we need to have a button handler. So we need to make function button handler, and we obviously need um, how we call this. Um, I will call it switcher because this switcher will set active. We want to have the previous state via a function, and we're gonna say if the previous is the same as the switcher, we return null because we're just gonna render the content. Else, we wanna return the switcher. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, home is not defined. Why not? Reference error at 38 and dot 7. Where did I use home then? Oh yeah, I can immediately destructure here, by the way. So let's do that. Now that we are here, settings, and then we can just also do like answer, and then remove all these ones, so we don't have that issue, right? No matching export and constant yes for import home. We'll see later. I'm not gonna bother too much to it. Okay, so now we want to create a div. Well, let's first render something on the screen because if the error is too significant, then we have a problem. So let's see if it actually renders. No, it does not. And it is on line 2, and home is a problem. Why is home a problem? Home profile settings. What if I remove home? Does it go to settings? Yeah, it's gonna complain. Um, Let me think about it for a second. Hmm. It should not give me an issue though. Also, let me do the structure question. Constant.js. Yeah. No matching export. What if I... Okay, so what if I just do Q&A? What does it do? Does it has an issue with importing? Q&A is declared but never read. So what if I do this then? Is it a problem? No, it's not a problem. Okay, well, let's bring them back for now then, and let's not optimize code. This is something you should not do. Optimize code all the time. That's a mistake that I make all the time. No matching export. Um, I think what I'm doing wrong is that this one, this obviously needs to be inside of the function. Does it still complain? It still complains about the default, and it's not rendering at all. Okay. God damn it. If I... Okay, so that's not the issue. The issue is really here. But I'm pretty sure... Home is not defined. It is. Here. Q&A. Uh, oh, okay. Q&A ID. Maybe. I'm making it complicated for myself if I'm doing that. Let's continue with the rest and we'll figure that out. So let's do a div first. Div, and we are going to say Q&A dot map tab index. Obviously, we need to put that in another parenthesis. Okay, it did that automatically. Great. And then we need to fire a function, obviously. Can we do it immediately? Yeah, let's do it immediately because we're probably gonna return one thing only here. Does it have an issue? Comma expected? No, not yet. Okay, so button. It's gonna be a button, right? And in a button, we are going to say that the key is the same as the index. We don't have to. You've exceeded the limit of 8 lines of code. Ah, that is what's going on. I was like, where are all the oh my god, bro. Okay, egg playground. Oh, god damn it. That annoys me so much. Okay. Um. God damn it. Bundle error. What is the bundle error? Okay. Import style, sure. Awesome. Why has it an issue? Where is this coming from? No, it should not be an issue to be honest. Oh yeah, because of the handle click. Okay, that's why. Okay, awesome. And what's missing is actually a um, const app um, what's going on? Const app. This should be fine, right? Yeah, it should be fine. I'm pretty sure. Let's go here. If I do RAFCE, wait, why is it not loaded? RAFCE. Okay, sure. Let's do that then. Mm, yeah, we have that. Okay, that should not be an issue. Okay. Uh, hello world. Okay, and let's get away from this as. Can we actually make extra files? So let's check here. Yes, we can. So we're gonna create constants.js, and let's do this one. Okay, export, and we're gonna import, obviously. It's unfortunate that this is a big time waster. Like, mm, constants. Home is not defined. Yeah, obviously. Q&A. Yeah, okay. Let's just destructure them. Let's do like ID, question, answer. No matching exports. Should it be an issue? Not sure why it's giving me an issue. I'm getting annoyed because of it. This is why we need to practice syntax, right? Because we're getting stuck on syntax. This should not be. Anyways, let's me copy these ones to the other one, and then let's not leave that one yet. Let's go here and let's do all this stuff. And you know what? Forget about the constant. I'm just gonna put it here. It's just annoying me, bro, at this moment. Home is not defined. What do you need to define? Oh, okay. I see what's going. Yeah. Okay. Mind blowing, right? Um, let's just do this. Okay, great. Um, and then let's go here again, and we say case. I'm not sure if this is possible. If um, Q&A dot ID is equal to home, return the answer. I'm not sure if this is possible. An expected if. You cannot do this? Okay. Um, of course I cannot do that because I'm mixing switch and case. Um, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT for that because I've never done that before. So let me ask. Let's see what it says. Okay, I just say, oh, okay. No, we cannot do Q&A, to be honest. Mm, no, we cannot do that. Okay, let's do then instead of switches. Never mind. Um, I'm just gonna do an if else then. So if Q&A dot ID is equal to home, Um, we want to return Q&A dot answer. Okay. Oh, okay. Else if whatever. Um, profile. Um, else if settings. I'm just gonna do it like this because I'm bored. I don't wanna do it. Else return. No, not sure if this is possible, but we just do that. And let's render it again. So we had something written down here, like this. So let's copy that and let's continue. I'm taking longer than I should, like significantly longer, so I'm pretty much annoyed by that. Okay, diff makes sense. Create a map. We're missing this one. No, that makes sense. Well, what's going on? Oh, key. Key is index 46. Why is that an issue? You need to open it, right? Why is that an issue? Uh, so this one is closed, this one is open, this one is closed. You have a button. It should not give me an error, to be honest. Um, I'm teaching myself, but yeah, you can check it out, right? I'm thinking about why I have an error. Do I miss a parentheses? Really? Okay. We're gonna say tab dot. Hmm. But then we need to define the tab, to be honest. Because no, we should say tab dot question. Sorry. Okay. Hello, question one, question two, question three. Okay, we have that. And then we need an on click. Let's do an on click. And the on click is going to be firing a function, obviously. And we have a button handler here. But then we also need then the switcher. So because we said that this is going to be um, so that gets clicked, and we said that prefixes a switcher is null, else a switcher. So it's always visible. Um, it should be visible, else make it visible. So then we get out of that, and then we're gonna say make another div. I'm just making a div, trying to. Oh, what happened there? Okay, and then we can do render content. I think that's it. Okay, not yet. Okay, let me see why. Uh, because we're not using active here. Um, if we're gonna do that, then we need to use active here. Let me think. If we need to store active in these ones, but then we need to make another function. Then we need to make a dependency on that. Let me think about it. How can I get these loaded into... Uh, I can be sneaky maybe here. Let me see. Uh, I'm not sure. No, that's not gonna work, right? I try. I tried. Also, that cannot be because... No, that can't be because I define it here. Okay. Mm. Oh, I know why. Um, I think that's it. No, god damn it. We don't have much time left for this one, but we're pretty much there. So let's give it a couple minutes. Let's figure it out. We need to find a way to store the active into... what are we going to do about that? I think the best thing is that we should return to a switch statement. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the switch and then we'll figure out with the um, figure out the other way. So we're gonna say case is home, and then we wanted to return obviously Q&A answer. That's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna also then immediately make the default. So default, we're gonna say return null. Right? And let's make the other ones as well. So not sure why I did that. Okay, home profile setting. Let's see if that's true. Settings. Okay, switch to active. Then we're gonna do this one. And we have a problem here. Why do we have a problem? This should be fine. Oh, obviously. What am I doing here? I think this should be. Okay, it's not rendering yet. We do have the active. We have the set active. We do the prefixer switcher null as a switcher. And we have... Oh, okay. Uh, I think this, no, this one should be it. I'm pretty sure. I forgot about that. Because we made a tab, we made the index, is the index, click function, and we render it here. This should be it. There should be no more mistakes in my opinion, but apparently there's. Oh, can I just save? Oh, like do this. Okay, this is my final answer, and there's nothing to be shown. So I have a mistake somewhere. Um, it could be a mistake in spelling, it could be a mistake in anything. The console is not giving me anything. I did load it, so that makes sense. And I am returning the Q&A.answer for this specific case, and that also makes sense. So yeah, this is my answer. So um, yeah, let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Trying to build few issues even. Should we tab ID? Oh, of course. Uh, yeah, but then I should use ID here as well. Yeah. No, maybe that is not even an issue. Maybe I can just say let's remove this one. Maybe I can just say ID here. Um, it's using a find function. I don't want to use a find function to be honest. It changed my code. Oh, what am I doing? Uh, index, index. Okay, because we're using index here. I hate when you change the code. Sorry, I am using the switcher, not find. Yeah, that's very ugly. I'm not sure if that's a good solution to be honest. What the hell is this? Hmm. I am not happy with that. No, I am not happy with that. Um, because I would just want to say here is Q&A that answer. But if I do this, then okay. Can I just say Q&A that answer? Okay, not a single object. Uh, hmm. Okay, okay, we can do that. That is not a huge issue. So we can say what was it? Q&A. That was a pretty good solution. Yeah, not the best solution, but yeah, you know, not sure if it's gonna work though. We can do this then. That's what you're saying. Mm, Uh, okay, show me the result with this one. We're gonna do swelt sun. Okay. Wait. What? Let me just copy the code. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say here. Oh, okay. Of course. Give me a second. Mm, because I'm using Switcher here, but I'm not sure if this is a great idea, to be honest. No. But then I should use ID here. Okay, let's do that. So ID, and then we use ID here as well. Okay. 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 Yes. Sure. But that does work. You can hard code these ones, but definitely not recommended, right? Okay. Mm, make the answer more beautiful. Let's see. Oh, god damn it. I meant the code, not the UI. Yeah. Let's see what ChatGPT comes with. Okay, it's using a find function, and it says if the item is item ID, then replace it with active. Oh, that's pretty smart actually. And then you do the button handler, and then you say the handler, and then I'm not a fan of this sort secret. The reason why I'm not a fan of sort secret is because um, ternary work better. And here you have only like true, and then else you will get a falsy answer, but we don't know what the falsy answer is. And with JavaScript, that can create issues. So, um, yeah. Okay. But this ID is not the same ID here. So that um, is not the same as the tab ID in button handler. I don't think. Yeah, they're used for different purposes. Oh, they have the same value though. Yeah, that is very. Mm, that's very verbose. Okay. Find function is in solution. I like that solution, but yeah. Switch case is also not a problem, to be honest. Maybe I should just do a value, to be honest, but yeah, whatever. Mm, I want to see it with if else. Instead of switch case, use if else. Let's see how they do it. Okay, you just, yeah, okay. Just like I tried to do. I think this is not good React. Um, okay. Oh, here it doesn't use switch states in at all. Give me a second. Oh, that's very smart. You just use active item. Can I find? Yeah. Oh, that's very smart. I love that. I think you can do this with filter as well. Um, you can do this with filter. Okay. Yeah, but they behave different. Okay, so if I use a filter, then I have to say if uh, if active is bigger than 0. Yeah, the length is bigger than 0. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Got it. Good. Mm, yeah, and same for the accordion, right? You can just make one click. Yeah, okay. I think that was pretty rough. But let's update the sheet. So we did that. Let's go to prep. We actually need to update it significantly because we did a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So um, it's already 17. So let's start with inputs. Where is it? Filter tab. So we did it today, and it was pretty hard. So neutral. We did some mistakes. Mistake was button handler. Okay. So we're gonna repeat it. We're gonna do that maybe on the 20th, so we have time to do other stuff. Hey bro, how are you doing? What's up? I said to do fetching again, but let's do the fetching actually tomorrow. We can do it tomorrow, no worries. We don't have to do tab component. Not sure what this was all about, but uh, sure, let's do that 21st then. And then let me see, we have the 9th here. I'm gonna do this the 22nd then, and then this the 23rd. Okay. So we have some time to practice, right? Alright, we'll see. And then we can add on where we left off. Okay. Alright, we'll save that. And let me see. We did practice this on the 19th. No, we did not. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty much done, but I will leave it for now. And yeah, okay, we have that updated. Um, I had another sheet that I needed to update, but I don't know where it is though. Good, how are you? I am. We're gonna do SWOT kit now. Do you know what SWOT kit is? But first, let me clean my desktop for a bit. There's a lot of files going on. This project we need to finish. This project is gonna be later on. We're not gonna do this one anymore, so we'll see about that. Let me see. I don't. Yeah, we do need to do this for Redx and those kinds of stuff, so that needs to be here. This is a testing map. We don't need that. Parallax score. We don't need that. Fetching. Yeah, we are using that at the moment, but it's not important. I don't know what this is. Okay, so we're just gonna put some images. We just try to clean it as fast as possible, and then we're gonna do some yeah. Okay. Oh, I copied it. Never do that. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. I did not know that. What's this? React Native real estate. We do need to work on that. That was very interesting. I did not know that was possible, to be honest. Like if you do this and you click away, it copies. If you hold in control, oh, it doesn't. Okay. I thought it did. Probably another way. So let's go here. Let's do this very fast. What type of project are you doing? E-commerce? No, we're doing. Let me show you on the screen. Uh, we're gonna do this project. So it's a very advanced front-end UI, but we're gonna use a different web development kit, which is called Svelte kit. It's just like Next.js, but different. Are you aware what it is? I'm gonna show you the UI for a second, so you can see it. What's There's a lot of things that's gonna happen. So yeah. All right. Now you know. Um, but yeah, we're not gonna make a full stack stuff this time. Maybe later on in the journey, but for now. You didn't know about that tool. Yeah, it's just. Have you heard of Nuxt.js? Maybe Nuxt.js. It's the same for Vue, right? Based on Vue, and that's SvelteKit. If I put SvelteKit, then it's based on Svelte. So Svelte is free, open source, component-based front-end software. It's basically like that. They're like mm, siblings. Yeah, because they each have their your own quirks, right? But they're not the same. So yeah, let me continue on with the desktop because we're gonna do some. Let me see the data structure algorithms. We need that. We don't need this ones, so we're gonna put it for the side for now. These ones. This one is optional, but the thing is, I cannot follow tutorials more on. Okay, let's do everything here. Mm, we do need to use the funnel. Same here. Okay. JChrome. What's this? Oh, okay, I remember this. But we don't need that. Okay. Mm. Bro, do you have any Discord servers? Would like to watch and learn? No, I do not have a Discord server just. I just started, bro, with the stream like last year. But maybe if it grows bigger, I will do a Discord service. But like I explain everything on the stream, so like you can actually follow, and I'll explain everything. So I'm not someone that is gatekeeping or keeping my thoughts on my own. I will explain, and we're gonna go over SWOT kit soon. and we're gonna do some repetition. So if you stay here now, like within 5 minutes, we're gonna do that. I'm just gonna clean my desktop and we're gonna. Uh, okay. Okay. We do need that here. Not sure what this is. Run.js. We definitely need that here. What is this book again? I think it is. Oh, okay. This is the things that I've applied for. But then I am missing something. I am missing digital cognition algorithm, and here's the log. Okay, the log is here. Awesome. Good. Then we can also put that here then. So yeah, give me a second, then I'm gonna like I need to check these files out later, so that's why I'm putting them in the map, but we're not gonna do that now. So let me see. Boom. Like interview. Okay, we can put that here. Awesome. We're not gonna do these ones anytime soon. Same with this one, same with this one. I actually think we can do most of them here because they're not important right now. We put that here, and this one can go. We already done that. I love it. Okay, okay. Awesome. Anki needs to stay. Run.js needs to stay. Swat, not. No, we don't need that. We don't need that. Code where? Give me a second, bro. Let me clean my desktop a bit, and we're gonna code now, okay? We just coded. You just missed out. We did some coding here as well, but now we're gonna do SvelteKit. So, um, clean. Awesome. Um, okay, let me see if I have everything. Okay, Zeal, Run.js. Okay, and I have my stuff. Okay, so let's continue where we left off. So I'm gonna do Microsoft Whiteboard. Gonna go to SvelteKit, and I'm gonna do some crash course. So pay attention. If you wanna learn SvelteKit, now is your opportunity. Okay? So I give you a minute to prepare before you're gonna talk about it, because I'm gonna drink something. So let me read the okay, okay. I would like to ask to connect with people with the same interests as me, but I'm going to be completely honest. I'm almost falling asleep. That's why I ask you as Discord. Yeah, maybe in the future, bro. Um, I don't. To be honest, I don't plan it right now. I don't have any plan, but I think it will. I think it will come. But the thing is, I don't want to moderate it. If you know what I mean, and I want to um, keep up with the moderation. I don't have time for that, so. Open are you recording this? Upload cool bits as a short later. Give me a minute to prepare the iPad so I can take some notes. Sure. Uh, this this crash course, half-ass crash course, is going to be very easy if you already know React or any other JavaScript framework that is not Angular, because Angular is a full battery included framework compared to the other ones. Upload it as shorts later. Mm, like I experience with shorts, but the thing is I don't have time for shorts at the moment. I'm pretty busy, right? But yeah, there's gonna be shorts in the future, definitely. Are you guys ready? Giving you one more minute, and let's set a timer. We're gonna do, let me see, like 20 minutes or something. Maybe dirty, we'll see. Alright, so what is Svelte? Svelte is a component framework. So it's such as Next.js is also a component framework built on React. Okay, React framework for the web. Same with SvelteKit. SvelteKit is it for Svelte. So if you don't know Svelte, don't worry about it now. It's just another way of writing um, JavaScript in JavaScript in I don't know, HTML, CSS, and those kind of stuff. You know the mix in with. If you did React before, you're gonna understand Svelte pretty quickly. All right. Just as Next.js, so we're gonna compare a bit. It comes with a lot of things, right? Fetching data, upload data, deploying, those kinds of stuff. SvelteKit is the same. So SvelteKit comes with routing, server-side rendering, data fetching, service workers. Well, we're not gonna go over this one or pre-rendering. We're gonna stick to these ones. These are the vital ones. And later on, we're gonna talk about single-page applications and so on. So yeah, basically what you need to know, just as the Next.js also comes with stuff, right? Let me click some pages like layout and pages. It has a certain structure and certain things that you can do. Same with SvelteKit. And this is like an interactive tutorial, so you don't have to read. I'm just going to show you what's happening. So that's what you need to know. SvelteKit can do a couple of things. Multi-page apps, so you can build an e-commerce with that. Or you can just create a single page ad, but basically it is production ready code. So you can... are you also streaming on Switch? No, I'm not. Maybe in the future. SvelteKit is a framework that grows with you. Start simple and add features where you need them. So basically, as Next.js, it gives you the bare bone, and you can add packages with npm, right? So that's basically what it's trying to say. Any questions thus so far before I go over the project structure? I don't see any. So just as Next.js, you also have a svelte config.js, you have a next config.js, right? Feed config, so basically what it's saying is that Svelte is built on Feed Webpack. It basically means it's a way of rendering their, stuff. And Next.js has their own, but React usually also is with feed config.js. If you don't know what feed is, you can look it up. Basically, it can use like Svelte, it can use React, it can use Vue, it can vanilla.js. You can host basically on top of this to render this on, uh, yeah, a way of rendering your website. Obviously, the package JSON where you install certain things, right? So for Svelte, you will see these ones, but for Next.js, you might see other ones. Not a big issue. Um, Let me see. Like I said, you can add your packages of what you want, right? Just as Next.js, you can add your packages. So simple so far. Well, type of module. This is normal in SvelteKit, but you probably don't see this in in Next.js. And yeah, obviously SvelteKit has their own features, right? You can set specific settings if you want to. And yeah, let's go into the app, the HTML. You also have this in Next.js. So basically, it's a way of saying like, this is how I want my app to be rendered in just plain HTML. And also React has this, right? They have like a whole wrapper like with raw, like root with DOM element and those kinds of stuff. So yeah, this is a way of doing that stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about the rest of the structures now. So on the static, you will have static files. Think about your CSS files, or think about your images, or think about your constants. Those are the files that come in here. And on your roots page, which is a bit different from React, and I'm going to explain how that works now, you have a page and a layout section. So let me go here to paste.js, a layout.js. You have this in Next.js, right? and then you can just do this the page and the layout. You can do something else, right? It is the same for SweatKit. So far things are very similar, right? Just the syntax notation is a bit different, plus based on Svelte. Now, what is an advantage from Svelte? Well, SvelteKit basically is that this is the only thing we have so far here, right? We just can render HTML. Whereas, if you want to do that on Next.js, you have to do an export default function, return this and that, states, hooks, and those kinds of stuff. You don't have this stuff. We have different stuff I'm going to talk about, but it's not that complicated. Why is this useful? Because um, code splitting. So if you don't know what code splitting basically means that I'm gonna write it down like import export hell, right? Import export hell. If you go to React code bases, you see like 20 lines of import, 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 import. Well, with SvelteKit, you don't have to do that. And a little bit later, I'm gonna talk about it specifically, but you will store your files somewhere locally in this project. So local files, you store, local file store, and from that store, you load them in to the page.svelte. That is something you should know. So that is very useful, and that makes things incredibly fast in SvelteKit. So that is the advantage. Let me see if I forgot something. That is pretty much the gist. Now we're gonna do more advanced stuff, right? So here you see we have a root.page. Now what does that mean? That means that if we load this page, which is the root file, you will load this page, page.svelte. Why? Because the maps defined the root. So if I'm gonna make a new map, which is going to be, it said a new map, right? Source, new map is gonna be about. Then I'm gonna also make a page.svelte, right? This will render when I say about. Does that make any sense? Now, obviously there's nothing here, but let's type something. Hello world, right? We now have an hello about, maybe like hello about, right? So the directors or directories defines where the pages are. Now, we didn't talk about dynamic pages yet, but that is something that we're gonna do later. So let's actually do this one. Enable copy. Oh, that's something else. Copy, paste. So now we can say we go to home and we're gonna go straight to about. But here we have one problem because in the about directory, so on the about page, we have a navigation, but also we here have a navigation. This creates an issue. Well, if you have ever done MVC projects like module view and controller projects, you probably have encountered.eas files, and you learned something that you can split files and import them. So, for example, if you have many pages that have a navigation and footer, right? You can just say navigation.ejs, footer.ejs, and then maybe on the main .ejs you can say you import navigation and footer, right? And then you will do it like navigation ejs and then the main content, right? And then you can say footer ejs. So this is something what we're gonna encounter now because we're gonna extract this code, we're gonna export it into another file, and that another file is called layouts. So why is this? Share common UI, just like I explained. Does that make any sense? I'm gonna create a file first. I think you spelled like this. Okay. Layout.svelte. And in this layout.svelte, we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna copy the navigation, and then we're gonna remove the navigation here and the navigation there. Let me see. Oh, oops. Alright. We have an issue, but I have to see what the issue is. Let me see. On the page, we have a layout, and the layout is here, and the page is here. Okay. Home, about. They do work. We are on about. Let's go to the main page. About home, home, about home. Did we do it on the right path? About the space layout. Yes, we did do it on the right path. And then the page also makes sense. Oh yeah, we have to do more. I forgot about that. Okay, I'm gonna explain this one. Give me a second. So what happens here? Basically, we have a file structure here. Here it says, in the roots file, we have a layout file. And the layout file is for share common UI. So this is going to be shared across the pages that we are making. But there's one catch. It only shares on the same level, like same level, or the children. So it doesn't go up. It doesn't go up, right? No up. No up. Only here. This is what we're going to do. Now there's another advantage of the layout. And that is, it's only like propping down, right? So do the children and on the same level. It also does not re-render. And that is very useful because some things that get loaded very often, you don't want to re-render them. And we're going to encounter that soon. We're going to encounter certain functions, certain data, certain navigations, right? Like to links and even like dynamic links, such as a blog, right? Such as a blog, we can load them into this plus layout.svelte, and it stays there. It doesn't rerun once. So if you ever have used effect for it in reactjs, you can have a dependency. And a dependency, you can basically say, well, if you only have this dependency, run it only once. If you don't have a dependency, run it every time. If you have a keyword dependency, only re-render if this keyword is affected. Right? So if you have used effect hook in React before, this is basically the empty dependency. It's not exactly like this, but this is what you can expect. Does that make any sense? Now I'm going to explain some syntax. So let children, this is a native reference that comes with Svelte. And it says f props. This means it comes from a store. And this store is syntax from how how SvelteKit renders the children. So this is something that you should know, that we are going to do that. Alright. So then we did this page. We're going to read it a bit so you know what it is. Different routes of the app will share common UI. Instead of repeating it in each page, you can use a layout.svelte that applies to the roots in the same directory and the children, like, and everything below it. We have two roots here, roots.about and roots.page. Remember that, right? The directories, the maps, right, defines the roots here, just as in Next.js. It's the same, right? You can see the layout and page. This is the root directory. You see, it points to the root directory. And if you make an about page with the layout and page.js in Next.js, it will do the same. All right. So we created that UI.svelte file, and we know it's and remove the duplicated navigation, and we use the local variable, destructured variable. This is just syntax from the Svelte kit to say like, hey, render this throughout the pages and anything below it. So that's what the code stands for. White flash. Oh yeah. Sorry, bro. Let me see where this where this is. Give me a second. Oh, it's here. All right. Problem solved, bro. Next one. Root parameters. So if you have ever encountered blocks or know how to make a block, this is basically what it's doing, and it's explaining how dynamic contents work. So I'm gonna explain it a little bit. So let's assume you have a block, right? And a block has a certain name. Well, the slug and the brackets basically means any name that has been used as a reference from the page. And then you can make a mock-up page. So how the page is going to look like. But if you have persistent data, then you can also say, okay, well, because we have common shared UI, we're gonna also make a layout.svelte file where we have persistent, so everything works that does not need to be re-rendered. Now that's a bit verbose, but we'll get into it in a second. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a dynamic link or dynamic map. You can also say that. And we're gonna make an example page how the blog page is going to look like. So not the content in it, how it's going to look like. So it's gonna say like title, it's gonna say like content, it's gonna say like links. But it's not defined what the name of the link is. That is not defined. Okay, so let's do that. So let's create roots for dynamic parameters. Use square brackets around the valid variable name. For example, slug. We create a route that matches block 1, block 2, block 3. Why does it match block 1, block 2, block 3? Well, the reason why is because we have not defined the title, the content, and the links yet. Right? We have not defined what it's going to be. So let's make that. Let's make a map. It's called slug. And let's make a plus page. Just like Next.js, we make a page. And it's basically empty. We're gonna say hello blog post. So anything that is hit after the block, right? Block directory and the slug. So this can be anything. It will render blog post because it is static. If you know what static is, it is persistent, always showing. So it's not dynamic. It doesn't change. Does not change. Okay? Does not change. So it doesn't matter. I can do 1, I can do 5, I can do anything. It will load because we have not defined anything yet. That's what a slug does. It has dynamic. It can be no, not endless or infinity, but close to infinity. Okay. Let's read it here. You can also make deeper nested links, but we're not gonna do that for the sake of this part. So we learned about SvelteKit, we learned about routing, we learned about rendering, but we haven't learned about the loading yet. Why? Because loading is something special in SvelteKit, and that is different in Next.js. So I'm gonna draw that out how that looks like. Okay? So let's assume you have a page, right? This is a page, and we had a layout page, right? Layout is UI stuff, right? UI stuff, and this one we said is just HTML, whatever, right? Whatever. Now we're gonna have a separate file. Well, not. I would say you can make a separate file. You don't have to, which is called a store. So a store basically means it could be inside the app. So when I say inside, it can be here, right? Or it can be decoupled. So decoupled means it is linked to this. So some apps do this. I am not a fan of this. So if you have ever touched, for example, Redux or Redux, whatever you want to call it, in React, this is what a Redux does. It makes a boilerplate, and in the boilerplate, you link that to the page and layout. And in the page and layout, you're gonna say what those things are in definition. Don't worry about it too much if you don't know Redux. It is not important. But for the sake of this tutorial, obviously, we are going to, let me see, we are actually gonna go and do it coupled. So it's one. And even better, we're gonna store this data in the layout, because then it does not re-render. Some things do not need to be re-rendered, right? So, and some things do, but it really depends. And we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, white flash, I know. uh, so you're gonna see it right now. Every page of your app can declare a load function in your page.server.js. So that's what I'm talking about. Your store is the page-server.js. Okay? So that's what I talked about. Not sure if I can, maybe I can add it here. So the store, this is plus page server.js. So it lives along with the page, but this is on the server and this is on the client. So filed alongside. So they're a pair. As the file name suggests, the model only ever runs on the server, including for client-side navigation. So if you put navigation into another file, then it can be sent from the server to the client. Let's add a routes.blog plus server.js. Okay, so I'm gonna do plus server page server JS. Now, why is this not svelte? Because this is JavaScript. This is not svelte code. That's why. And you're gonna find it out soon. Okay. So we can replace the hard-coded links in the page.svelte. So we had hard-coded links. These are the hard-coded links here in the page.svelte that they're talking about, which is in the blog level. We want to change that to probably on the page.server.js. Now, how do they do that? They do that in this way. I'm going to explain the code for a second. Give me a second. All right, so what has happened here? Import posts in a destructured way from data.js. So apparently we have a file that's called data.js. So let's check it out. And in the page.data.js, it says a variable post that is exported, which is an array of objects, which has the slug name, because remember we said the slug is going to be the slug name. This can be renamed, but this is most common. Slug name, we say welcome. So later on, if we go to welcome, which is not the case right now, it's gonna have some content, and it's gonna have this title content, and it's gonna have this content. So we're gonna attach that. Let's go back to the server.js. We say on a function return a key with a mapping function that we're gonna go over the slug, which is post of slug, and title post as title. So what we are doing here, we're just making the link like the welcome link, right? That's the post of slug, and we are making the title, and the title is just the title here, or the title here, or the title here, because again, we are mapping over it. So it's going to return what we have. Okay, continue. Now, why are we loading data from JS? The reason why we're loading data from JS is because we have static content, like an array of objects. But usually you will do that again from a database or CMS, but you will do that on a job. Don't worry about it right now. This is just, like they say, it's for the tutorial sake. We can access this data in roots.block page as well via the data prop. So remember, how does this work? How does this link? Because that's a bit weird. It's linking to the data page and then to the server page. What's going on, right? So data, the data here has some files, right? It has some code, right? It has some code, and this code gets to the page, right? Gets to the let me see, goes here, right? The page.server.js. Because we are mapping over the data in a page.server.js, and this is gonna go to the page.svelte. Does that make any sense here? Well, it will now. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do plus page.svelte. And so we said, okay, we mapped over to the data, every data here. I'm gonna go a bit on the side here. We said we are returning this data format. So let's go to the page here. So instead of the hard-coded links into the block here, we're gonna loop over them so we can get the slug and data back. So give me a second. You're gonna show it here. This is a bit verbose, but trust me on this. We're gonna go over this. So what happened here? Let me see if I have everything. Now let's do the same for the page server.js slug. Do you have two page.server.js? Let me see, slug. We don't have that yet. Give me a second. Plus page.server.js. Okay. All right. And then let's also do it for this one. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Plus plates. Is this correct? Oh, we do not need this one. Okay. Awesome. So let's read through that really simple. So what happened here? Usually we load data from a CMS. So this could be a CMS or a database. We're going to load some data. That data is going to go to the page server.js. We're going to define how to represent. It's like a how would I say this nice? If you ever have used NoSQL, it can be a collection, right? Or like a data notation, or a data layer, like a DAL layer, if you have used MVC before. So don't worry about it if you don't know everything here. But basically, what I'm trying to say, how you're gonna say it, how you're gonna represent it, then you're gonna send it to the page. So let's go over that. So we said we're gonna map over it, and we're gonna give the slug and a post title. Then we said in a block page.svelte, page.svelte, we're gonna loop over them, and we're gonna grab the slug and the title from the data.props. Now how can this be? How can we directly do that? Well, that is because how we represented the page.svelte, right? We represented it in this way, so we know how things are going to be, and then we're going to load that from that store and loop it through here, right? Look at here, data.summaries. This is basically like a map function in React, so it's like variable.map item. Like this is basically in React. This is the same. This is the syntax of Svelte. We say data.summaries. Let's go back to the page that server has. The summaries. We have defined that we're gonna loop through the post, the slug, and the title because this is the data notation. And then we said return obviously the link, the slug, right? So the slug is safety, welcome, cake, right? And then we can also return the title. Title safety notice, welcome to the blah blah blah. But we did it with a representation of this one. Does that make any sense? So we're gonna go here from the data CMS data tile. We're gonna tell it how to represent, and then we represent. Now, why is this useful? Because server loaded. That's the first one, right? So it is more persistent. Like it makes fast. It's faster, right? Than loading on the client. It's faster. The second thing is a lot of code is here. So it's like a storage, right? A small storage for the page.server.js. That is what is going on. So let's assume you have let's assume this is a mobile phone, right? This is a mobile phone. This is your phone, right? Whatever. But you also have like a power bank, and your power bank has like extra batteries, right? Like it has extra batteries, like a power, right? But your phone is also like a battery. But this is a small storage, right? But we decided, hey, we're gonna remove that battery or barely use it, like barely, and we're gonna have an external stuff. We're gonna do the same with the cloud. Like you have local storage, right? Like a local storage. But we also have like the cloud here, and the cloud is like the power bank. But we decided to only use the power bank, only use the cloud files as a source. We don't have any local stuff. That's basically what we are doing here. All right, let's see if it works though. All right, it works. All right, gives me the title on the welcome. Let's do the cake one. Awesome. Now you might be doubting a bit, right? Saying like, why are they using data? Well, you're just using a prop. You just made this prop up, but this is standard notation for the script. We say we want to load data how we defined it here, and then we're gonna use the data.summaries, which is obviously the variable, and we're gonna destructure these two, like right? We can also probably use like instead of destructuring, we can use like data.slug and data.title, and then we can make this as well. So that's basically what we're doing, and obviously um, in the slug.page.server.js, we want to let me see page.server.js. Is this correct? Let me see. Is this the same? No, it's not the same. Um, we're gonna add this one. Why? Because if we land anything else, like something that doesn't exist, right, before, we just wanna define error, and if something doesn't exist, we're just gonna say welcome, cake, those kind of stuff. It's like a mini block. This is how blocks work. This is the crash course for a blog. Layout data. Give me a second, I'm gonna drink something. Did we do this before? I'm not sure. Yes, we did. Uh, so, like I said, we have a problem here because we talked about the data, .js, we talked about the page server.js and the page svelte, but previously we have defined layout, layout plus layout um, dot svelte. And like I said, if we define certain things that persist, so re-renders once. And that can be pretty useful. Why? Because page.server.js always reruns. And we don't want to do that because there's a lot of loading, makes the website slower. We can make the website better. So what we're going to do here, we're going to say, let me go to, what is it? Layout data. We're going to say we want persisting data. Now, what does persist in a block? Well, for example, links does persist, right? Let me go over to the uh, page. Let me see. Not here. I see we don't have links yet, so let me get into links. Let's read something. This is the layout.svelte files to create UI for every child route. Layout.server.js files load data for every child route. So what does that mean? Layout dot we renders once, but layout server server.js, what does it do? It said it, right? Layout.server.js renders once and goes down, right? Children. So we can use it. Let me put it a bit here. We can use it throughout the application. So we can use it in the slug. We can use it in a block because it's also on the same level. But anything above the block we cannot use. So in a roots we cannot use this. But in a block we can use this, and in a slug we can use this. So before we said we are returning the summaries and we are loading that here like data summaries here, and we are rendering every page, right? So welcome page and those kinds of pages. All good. But if you have certain links loaded already, persistent data, right? Links are persistent data. We want to make sure that you don't re-render this every time. So we want to re-render it once, and that's why we are going to use something like layout.server.js. This is just a name, right? This is just a name. It like you can call this like just server from the page, right? But in svelte.kit, they decided that layout.server.js is a special kind of name file, and we also have this in React Next.js. Layout.js is a special file name, and paste.js is a special file name. And we also do that. We also then decided for layout.server.js is on the server, but a layout.js. Okay, so you have to know Next.js if for that explanation, but basically a server file that holds data. Suppose we would like to add more post sidebar to our blog page. We could return summaries from the load function. So if you don't know what the load function, you forgot about the load function. The load function is a special kind of function that returns how we want to represent data. Again, page server.js, how we want to represent the data, which is a special function load. And we want to use that in all the slug pages, so the welcome page, the cake page, and those kinds of stuff. But it would be redundant if we don't do that in a layout file, because it re-renders every time. So how do we solve that? Basically, we can actually rename this page.server in the block to layout.server.js, because now it's not going to re-render every time, it's going to be the same. Now, we have done that. Everything works. Now let's add the sidebar. So this is what we need to add. And where do we need to add it? Into the layout, into the, let me see, layout.slug. Let me see if everything is correct. Layout.main. Okay, and it's inside the div. And then we have more posts. So these links here are loaded once and not anymore. The links will always stay the same. Again, I will explain it. If you have used React before, right? Use effect, right? Use effect hook. There's three types. You have a dependency, so this you renders once, and if you have nothing, we render every time. So this is going to be the page.server.js, right? And this is going to be layout dot server.js. And of course, in React you have also like a keyword, but then a only if keyword re-render. But we don't have this. We don't have this. So this is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing before, like before. But we don't have to do this because this is persistent. So basically we're doing this. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. The layout and any page below it inherits data summaries from the layout.server.js. When we navigate from one post to another, we only need to load the data for the post itself. Does that make any sense? The layout data is still valid. So, in a page.server, we decided, let me see if I can find a page.server. In a page.server, before, we defined the data notation and how we're gonna render this. But if you have rendered once, because it's now layout, this will stay the same and will never change. However, this data here, page.server.js, does change. Because you define that it might be changeable, but layout.server.js is not changeable unless you change. So basically what it means, these more posts here in the layout.svelte we defined. Let me see if that's correct. Yeah, that should be correct. We said these links, so these links are these links, like more posts, dynamic data that is persistent, right? Because we said it's persistent, are not now here. So it will always work. Could be complicated, right? But this is what's happening here, right? Headers. Inside the load functions, well as in form actions, hooks, and API routes, we will learn all about later, you have an access to set headers function, which unsurprisingly can be used to set headers on the response. So if you have ever encountered headers before, basically what they're talking about, headers 200, right? Headers 404, but also other headers protocols. So basically, like HTTP header protocols. You encounter these stuff when you are going to do some back-end development for the web. That's when you encounter these stuff. Okay, awesome. Most commonly, you will use to customize caching behavior with the cache control response header, which is a um, valid object in an HTTP response header. It's very specific, but don't worry about it too much. But for the sake of this tutorial, we will do something less advisable and more dramatic. Okay, so let's see what they do. They say set headers, and like you're loading the set headers, which is a header, you're setting the header of an HTTP, and you say the content type should be text. Let's do that. So let's go to source.root.page.server.js. Let me see if I'm in the correct one. Page uh, source root. We need to add a file. So, and that is gonna be plus page.server.js. I'm gonna load it here. Now you don't ever want to do this, to be honest, but for the sake of this tutorial, like I said, do it. You may need to reload to see the changes in effect. Okay, so let's see what happens. Do you understand what happens, guys? Alright, let me drink something. Looks good. Mhm. So what is it loading? It's loading the app.html. That's what it's doing. Any questions? Reading and writing cookies. I'm not sure if it's too much for right now. It is 1 a.m. plus, but the set headers function can be used with the set cookie header. Instead, you should use the cookies API. So this is a special API for Svelte. In your load function, you can read a cookie with the cookies get name.options. But if we need to do that, then we have to set a cookie as well. So set a cookie name.value.options. It's strongly recommend that you explicitly configure the path when setting a cookie, since browsers' default behavior, somewhat uselessly, is to set cookies on the parent of the current path. Okay, so let's go to roots and then roots and a page of server.js. And remember, this reloads every time, right? Because it's a page of server.js. And let's see the code. Okay. Don't worry about like, oh, what's cookies about? Like, what is this? This is a lot. Cookies has a lot to do with yeah, HTTP. Let's put it that way. If you learn backend development or even frontend nowadays, because it's Phatt on frontend, you learn this. Don't worry about it. You learn this after making cool websites. So we set a cookie provider, which is an API, and then we say the variable visited, we want to get the visited and return visited as true. But if we do that, we also need to set a cookie. So let's also do that. Because you cannot say like, okay, I'm gonna get a cookie while it doesn't exist, right? So we say cookies set visited, right? Remember, you need to name visited. The value is a boolean, is it true or false, and a path. So what parent, what path are we going to do that? Well, we are in roots, so there's no path above us, so the path is going to be this path. Now if you reload the iframe, hello stranger becomes hello friend. Let us see if that is true. I think we forgot something. Let me see. First options. Let me see. Roots.page server.js. Roots.page server.js. Now, if you reload the iframe, hello stranger becomes hello friend. Color headed cookies name causes cookies header to be written, but it also updates the internal map of cookies, meaning the subsequent calls the cookie that get that name. Okay. With the same request and return an update value. Under the hood, the cookies API uses a popular cookie package. The options passed to the cookie set and get corresponds to the parse and serialized options for the cookie documentation. So it gets set the following defaults to make your cookies more secure. Okay, awesome. Now let's see if we get it. Okay, hello friend. I'm not sure if we can see the. Let me see. Okay, we can expect, and let's go to the cookies tab. So applications. Let's go to cookies, and let me see where the cookies are. See a guest ID, stack blitz. Okay, I cannot see the cookies here because it's a certain environment, probably. Like this is my cookie here. So, but basically, if I have this on the browser and I've set this, then I can find that there. All right. Mm, is this long or short? Okay, let's do the last one. Because SvelteKit uses direct base routing, so the maps are the routes, right? It's easy to place modules and components alongside the routes that use them. A good rule of thumb is put code close where it's used. Sometimes code is used in multiple places. When this happens, it's useful to have to put them in a place that can be accessed by all routes without needing to prefix export with the code splitting. In SvelteKit, that place is source.lib. So anything inside this directory can be accessed by any module in the source via the lib alias. Okay, so how does that work? So we can go here. Basically, what they're saying is like, hey, we have a store which is called lib, and this lib can be accessed from anywhere. So anywhere, right? So it's like a global file that can be split along all your other code. Both page of Svelte files in this exercise import source.lib.message.js. But if you navigate to a deeply nested root, the app breaks because we have the prefix wrong. So the code splitting hell, right? Update it to lib.message um, instead. Okay, so let's do that. Do we have that map or no? Um, let's do it a little bit like this. Let's see if we have message somewhere. I don't see message.js somewhere. Let me see where it is. I don't see it here, but for the sake of the tutorial, we just do what it says. Roots. Then we're gonna say the map A, and then we're gonna say deeply. Again, a map, and then we're gonna also say nested. Hope that makes sense. Root, and then we're gonna say plus page.swells, which is a normal page. Right? I'm just gonna, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just gonna show you this. So we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna say from the roots file, we're gonna say a deeply. Oh, I forgot roots almost. Source roots. No, we can just say a deeply nested. Not sure if it's gonna respond. Root, and then it should display this file. Now we don't want to do this and then have like all this splitting before this message. So we have a store that can be accessed all across the page. So let's do that. And then we're gonna say message here. Okay, filter into does the file exist? No, the file does not exist. Um, but let's make that file. So we're gonna say message dot. Let me see if I do it. No. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go to the source. Yeah. Source lib. So we need to make a separate map called lib, and we're gonna say message.js. Okay, and we don't know what message is yet, but const message const and export const message. Maybe I don't even need to do export, but a message is into hello world deeply something. I think I can do something like this. Let's see what it does. Internal error. Okay, so we have an error here. Maybe we just do const. I'm not sure how it works yet, so let's see what the exact syntax is. So import message from lib message. Let's go to the deeply nested root. Import message here. Okay, so this tutorial is missing some stuff. Import message from lib.message in a deeply nested one, and the page.swelled. So let's go to the page.swelled in the roots file. Yeah. Okay. Deeply nested root. Not sure what this is. Okay. So this one is correct, and then the deeply nested file is this one. And let's see what we have here, and then refresh, and that gives an internal error. But the reason why it gives an internal error because we don't know what this is going to do. That's why. So what should it display? It doesn't say anything about that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Maybe it does here. No, it goes along. Okay, that means that this one is not finished. we have unfinished code here. So what we're gonna do instead then, we're gonna go to the docs and we're gonna say lib. Okay. Lib component dot swelled. Okay, that is very simple to be honest. Let me see if I can find more. Is that it? So it can automatically makes files under the source of lib using the lib import alias, which you can change directly point for your config file. Because we also need to hook up your config file. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay, so this is incomplete. That's very disappointing. But the gist is that under the lib message.js, let's do const message is let's see if we can deeply hello something. Not sure it's gonna work though. 500 internal error. Import message from lib.message. Okay, awesome. And let's go here. We don't need to do this. We can just do this as well. Oh, lib the message. Oh, I spilled my drink. Give me a second. What I said should be correct, but oh, it's a lib.message. Good. Yeah, so we're missing a file. Edit space on GitHub. Yeah, we're missing something because we don't know what the message is. That's very unfortunate. Let's generate something with ChatGPT for the sake of this tutorial then. Uh, okay, give me a second. Uh, oh, I lost the file. I lost it. I lost it. Okay. Okay. So here we have this one. Okay. Awesome. Um, and this is roots of page that's swelled. Okay. And we have hello from lit.message. Oh, it's generated now. We didn't have this before, but it okay, so there's an error on the page. Okay, no worries. Export const message hello from deep lib. Okay, so export const message in a lib file message.js, and then you just load it in like this. Yeah, but I think we did that, but later on we said that we didn't do the export, obviously, and then it gave us an error. Okay, but we did not have this file before because we should have refreshed the page. So that is something that basically means that we should not rely on the re-rendering automatically. So there's an issue here. So here you already see it. Here we still have the files here, while we are at the other page, right? Okay. Let's go to the form element, and I think then we need to refresh. Yeah, see, it refreshed and then all these files get removed. Okay, so that was the issue. Now we know. So yeah, I think that is it for now. So let me see. Do I need to update something? Not really. Or we basically make like an database and those kinds of stuff. But yeah, I think that we'll leave it for now here. Hopefully that makes sense. It was a lot of explanation, but and obviously you're gonna make mistakes. You see that I also make mistakes, right? So and the mistake was the reloading, not me as itself. So that's pretty interesting. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me make 607 years. And I will see you on to the next one.